Soviet republics. But Nazarbayev believes that there are not too many conflicts between the republics. Ukraine President Kravchuk, however, in an interview with the Italian newspaper Stampa, expressed regret that President Yeltsin had not consulted with his CIS partners in proposing nuclear arms reductions with the United States. In the world of big business, these business leaders who also attended this meeting are considered important for the future, including former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. These republics are waiting for significant help from the democratic community of nations. We should study here and create a similar forum to meet at least once a year so we can gather together with political people, bankers, financists. This would be very useful. Russia and Estonia have agreed to decide in a timely manner the issues related to removing former Soviet troops from territory of Estonia. At the meeting in Tallinn between the Russian delegation and the government of Estonia, they signed a document saying that these troops remain under the defense of Russia. The problem of development in the former Soviet republics is at the center of attention at today's Brussels meeting of the European Community at the foreign minister level. The ministers expressed the intent of the European Community to increase political and economic cooperation with the Commonwealth. The first joint meeting was held today by the two main black resistance groups in South Africa, the African National Congress and the Inkatha Freedom Party. It was held in Natai province. In Rome, the Italian President Cossiga has decided to disperse the parliament and hold elections on April 5th and 6th. The election campaign began today. For the first time this year, China has shown the architect of Chinese reform, Deng Xiaoping. He was accompanying Chinese President Yuan Shinkun and congratulated leaders in Shanghai with the Chinese New Year. The 87-year-old Deng Xiaoping looked fairly lively. Several foreign observers believe that he is seriously ill. However, there is no official confirmation of this yet. Deng Xiaoping gave up all his official posts in 1990, but nevertheless, it is maintained that he remains the most influential figure in Chinese politics. As a result of avalanches in the southwest areas of Turkey, 300 people were killed. The city of Germex, which has 258 residents, was buried entirely. Medicinal help is arriving by military transport aircraft. The government of Argentina has declassified the archives relating to Nazi war criminals who sought refuge in that country. At a triumphant ceremony, the results were announced by President Carlos Menem. Representatives of the countries who fought against Germany during World War II and international human rights organizations were in attendance. The dossiers were opened on Müller, Hitler's right arm, Mr. Goerman, and other officials of the Third Reich. German Defense Minister Stoltenberg declassified 25,000 documents relating to military activities of the Warsaw Pact. In the 1970s and 1980s, East German troops were to close the access to the Black Sea together with Polish and Soviet troops and also seize the province of Schleswig-Holstein. In order to repress a NATO resistance to this attack, it was proposed to launch 234 first atomic strikes and 294 second strikes. Belgium was to be the object of attack by East German forces, who would play the vanguard role in that, along with the occupation of Denmark, West Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands, which would be accomplished in 13 days. Within 4 weeks, German troops were to reach the Atlantic coast and the Spanish border. Warsaw Pact officials believed that NATO had 5,000 nuclear warheads, which is a wild exaggeration, according to the German defense minister. East Germany already prepared a medal for survivors of this attack, named for Marshal Blücher. NATO, we have always heard about NATO's supposed intent to launch preemptive nuclear strikes on the Eastern Bloc. Now that we have this information, it would be good for NATO to declassify its archives on this not-too-distant period. More revelations were made today on the investigation into the August coup, in particular the role of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union and the Russian Communist Party. This is the third commission which is investigating this issue, and the only commission which has succeeded in making public several results of its activities. Shock was the mood at KGB headquarters as they issued their results of their investigation on the role of the church in the KGB over the years. Minister Baranikov finally led the investigative group, accompanied by People's Deputies and our camera crew, onto the premises. Here are some of the documents. This is the theses on warning warning conversations with certain citizens. If the coup had succeeded, we and our fellow citizens would have been forbidden for 1 week to discuss the events that were taking place, or even to go out onto the streets. There would have been an attempt, if the coup had succeeded, to revive a special service along the lines of the KGB. The Speaker of the Parliament, Ruslan Khasbolatov, has limited the work of this commission to until February 15th. Like the previous commission under Mr. Stepashin, the commission may not succeed in revealing its results. It appears that there is insufficient political will to bring this matter to the end. So our hopes remain on the society. In our country, there is still no law regulating the activities of the special services. In the U.S., for example, the charters of the FBI and CIA are approved by the Congress, but our parliamentary speaker sees no need even for commissions investigating these events. Hard times. At the beginning of this year, times in our country were unprecedentedly hard. But now some of our spiritual culture is returning to us in the form of church music, which was sung by our Russian forebears in even more difficult times. In Moscow, the 4th International Festival of Orthodox Music began today. This is the main hall of the Moscow Conservatory. The people here have never heard a concert like this. We feel a certain discomfort at reflecting on our own silence. But ignorance is not a sin if we keep the genetic desire to know the music and culture of our forebears. This is the 4th time this festival has been held, and it is international only because of the presence of the Swedish choirs. The instability in our country is creating another iron curtain, discouraging international participation. But there are people who are still preserving the pearls of our spiritual culture in its great religious music. These are volunteer choirs. There are over 30 of them participating here. There are children's and young people's choirs, which gives us hope for the rebirth of religious musical culture in our country. And one more event of the day. Today in Moscow, the final Congress of the Soviet Theater Union was held. It was disbanded, and in its place they created an international confederation of theater unions. Its president is Kirill Lavrov.